Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're checking out 10 things tourists love and hate about visiting London.
Look, kids, Big Ben, Parliament. Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World on today. We're here in London,
Hey, Mark.
and today we're back to talk about 5 things that tourists love and might not love so much about coming to London. And I'm going to talk about the biggest issue that tourists have when they come here, and that is the fact that...
Okay, before we get started, be sure to go to Wolters World and like and subscribe. It gives you the lowdown. If you're thinking about going to London, you might want to watch this. Let me see if I can predict what people will hate. The weather? It's crowded. Maybe it's expensive compared to the rest of Britain. You're not getting the real Britain, you know? It's like big city Britain. I don't know. Maybe the food. I have a feeling the food's pretty good though. I don't know. What's he gonna say?
London is not a cheap place to visit. Now,
It's
there are
expensive.
free things you can do to take down the cost, but I can't lie to you. The worst part about coming to London is just how expensive it is. Whether it's accommodation, transportation, the museums you actually have to pay for. Things just happen that your money just kind of disappears. And the thing is, sometimes your money disappears when you don't even realize it. Like when you forget to tap out after you tap in, whether you take the tube. And so it's just a plain fact of life that this place is expensive. And one thing I think is important to think about when we're looking at the expensive nature of London is a lot of people will spend a lot of money to get here, thousands of dollars to get here from the US. And then they'll be like, oh, it's like 25 pounds to go into this museum? Maybe I won't go. Like, wait, you already
That's
spent
not
2,000
that
pounds
bad.
to get here. Why not spend another 20 to see a site that you really want to see? So
Yeah.
things like paying to go up St. Paul's. Yes, you got to pay for it, but it's worth going up there. Going to the Tower of London and seeing the crown jewels and the beefeaters. Yes, it's worth it, but it is expensive. So I think it's really important before you come, you kind of plan out your budget for what you want to do. So you're not like getting turned off last minute about seeing some of the sites because of the price. Because honestly, it just feels like your money disappears like doing nothing here.
Y'all, I feel like that where I live in Los Angeles, if you didn't know that. And it's damn expensive. I feel like London might be about the same or maybe even less. Let's see. Cost of living comparison between Los Angeles, California, and London. You would need around $8,254.3 in London to maintain the same standard of life that you can have with $8,300 in Los Angeles. So it's about the same. It's about $50 cheaper. Let's see what Cora says. As of my last update in August 2023, both Los Angeles and London are known for their high cost of living, but the expenses can vary significantly depending on housing. London has higher average rent prices, particularly in central areas. A one-bedroom apartment in the city can be quite expensive. LA housing costs in LA can be high, especially in desirable neighborhoods, blah, blah, blah. Give me numbers. Oh, this says London is 27% more expensive than Los Angeles. This says London is 8% more expensive than Los Angeles. Okay, I guess I'm getting a deal, y'all, by living in Los Angeles, I guess. It's about the same, I imagine.
The second thing you're probably not going to like when you come here is when you're trying to find accommodation. Really, I like to call it the accommodation conundrum. Because this is something that the locals have as well. Finding a good place to stay at a reasonable price. Look, you're not going to get anything cheap, but you need to really think about where you want to be and what you want to see so you know where to plant your stuff or set up your accommodation. And the thing is, no matter where you stay, you're not going to have a ton of space. So I would really recommend packing light when you come here, because whether you're at a hostel or a hotel or any other place, space is always at a premium here. Even if you're at a luxury hotel, space is at a premium and you're paying for that premium. You're like, wait, what am I getting for it? Not a lot. And so that's something that does frustrate people. And that's why what I recommend, look for a place you want to stay that's where you want to be, where you're going to spend most of your time. Are you going to spend most of your time by Victoria Station and, going down to, Westminster Abbey down there? Okay, then maybe you look for something there.
No idea.
Maybe you want to go to Soho and you want to stay there and have some fun there. That's what you want to think about. And then realize how much time you're going to save if you're staying where you want to be versus having to take the tube and going out. That's why sometimes the trying to save money by staying farther out of the city kind of gets you in the end. If you got to take, if it's too late and there's no tube available, you got to take a cab, or if you're trying to get to an airport, and you don't have public transportation to it, that can really add up to it. So yeah, the accommodation conundrum is a real issue. But the thing is, you're coming to London. Why? Because the first thing you're going to love.
Okay. Before he moves on, I've been to London once when I was in college as part of a college thing. I was there for about 10 days or so, like a week. And we stayed at a dorm that was owned by the University of London. And it was way out of town. It was outside of London in a little town called Egham. And me and my friends would take the train into London every day, and it wasn't that bad. It was kind of fun. Like a 30-minute train ride, 40-minute train ride. It wasn't bad. It was kind of fun. But my point is, I didn't have to pay for it. It was the school. Ooh, what do people love? Let's spread the love. What do people love? Tell me, Mark.
The fantastic museums and sites and experiences when you come to London. I mean, let's be honest. You want to go see the Tate Modern. You want to go see the British Museum and the Rosetta Stone. You want to go to the Tower of London. And yes, it pays a lot, but you know what? It's worth it. You want to see these sites that you've wanted to see since you were a kid, and they really come alive when you're here because there's really so much to do for everyone. That's why if you're a kid, you can enjoy London. If you're an adult, you enjoy London. If you're a grandparent, you can enjoy London. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your gender. It doesn't matter anything. There's going to be something for you when you're here. And what's great is a lot of the best sites are actually free. Change of the Guard, that's free. British Museum, that's free. Tate Modern, that's
awesome.
Free. Walking along the Thames and taking that in, yep, that's free too. Because honestly, you just love all the stuff you can do in this city. That's why people come back again and again and again, like myself, because there's always something new to check out and new to explore when you're here. So with all the tourists that are here and all the fantastic museums and sites that you can see, there are also some tourist traps that go in there because when they're...
Oh, I think he's going to move on to the next one. Like I said, I went with school, and I was with about 7 of my friends or so. One of my friends really wanted to go to the British Museum specifically to see the Rosetta Stone. Like, he had to see it. We were all like, okay, dude, he was very adamant about going there and seeing the Rosetta Stone. He just had to see it. When we got there and saw the Rosetta Stone, it was just sitting there in the middle of this room, and there were some velvet ropes around it. I reached over the velvet rope and I touched it. So I've touched the Rosetta Stone. I don't think you're supposed to do that, but I did it with this hand. This hand's done a lot. I'm not going to go into it. But throughout the rest of the trip, we decided from then that we would each have our own Rosetta Stone. We would each have a thing that we just had to go to, and the rest of us would go to it as a courtesy to this one friend. So my Rosetta Stone was Abbey Road. So we actually went to Abbey Road. We took our photos going across the street. I wrote my name on the wall. It's probably been painted over by now. I even went through the front gate and sat on the front steps and had my photo taken, but I don't know where that photo is. Otherwise, I would show it to you. But anyway, yeah, Rosetta Stone. I touched it. It was free. The British Museum's amazing. I do want to go back. It's been so long. And that little bit of time I was there, there's not enough time to see the whole city. Not enough time. And it was so long ago that I barely even remember a lot of it, you know? I don't remember any meals. I gotta go back.
There's lots of tourists. There's lots of reasons why you might want to separate them from their pounds, right? And I will say this, realize there are some tourist traps here in London. I actually have a video on the tourist traps and the scams of London. But I will say this, most of the tourist traps actually here in London are worth it for a lot of people. Like, some people say, like myself, hey, Madame Tussauds, is it worth it? Well, for me personally, no. But when I take my kids there, they love it. So it's one of those things you got to think about is when I'm planning out my budget because of the price for things here and those tourist traps, some of them are tourist traps just because of the price of them. You might want to kind of debate, hey, can I offset paying for that expensive touristy trappy kind of thing with seeing more free museums or doing things that might mitigate some of the prices, or some of the costs. I just want to kind of put that out there with all those fantastic sites. There are some that might be a little more than they need to be.
Y'all, I grew up in Florida. I know all about tourist traps. They're all over down there. You get anywhere close to Orlando and it's just tourist trap after tourist trap. But like he said, one man's tourist trap is another man's authentic cultural exposure. Just came up with that term. Anyway.
Might be a little more than they need to be.
Oh.
Though I love the sites here.
Oh, I didn't catch that the first time. He's talking about the eye. He's talking about the gigantic overblown Ferris wheel. Yeah, I don't even know if that was there when I went. I didn't go on it. I don't think I'd wanna. It's a little too slow. I need something with some speed.
Might be a little more than they need to be. Though I love the sites here,
Shade.
I will say this isn't really a hate. It's just a heads up kind of thing. When you do get your picture inside the telephone box, make sure you wash your hands afterwards. You'll
I've
understand.
heard that before.
Now, the second thing you're going to love.
I've heard they smell like pee. For my American friends, those red phone boxes are actually public urinals. Feel free to urinate. Maybe poop.
Now, the second thing you're going to love when you come here to London is actually the pub life. I mean, pub is life when you are here. And it's not just laughing at the names of some of the places or just enjoying the atmosphere and having a few drinks or maybe a bite to eat or meeting the locals. It's all of it together because the pub is life when you are here. And when the city gets out of work, about 5 o'clock, all of a sudden the pubs fill up and you have people just knocking down pints with their friends or coworkers. They're just out having a drink. And that's one of those things. When you come here, this is your opportunity to talk to the locals. And it could be a local that was born and bred here in London or somebody that moved here 5 years ago from Spain because they're all Londoners. And the pub is where they all come together. So that experience of going there, ordering at the bar, having a bite to eat when you're there, it's just such a fantastic experience. And I do have to give you a hint. If you are getting food at the pub, make sure you look at your table number because you got to order at the bar, okay? They're not going to come and give you table service, right? They're going to order there, and then they'll bring it to you, right? So just be aware of that. But honestly, the whole pub life experience, and there's some great pubs, like from historical pubs to new pubs, any kind of thing you want to do or drink or whatever, they have it here because the pub life is fantastic, and you're going to love it. And also, I could put the nightlife along with that. So, yeah, you're going to have a good time in the evening when you are here. If it's going to a West End show or going to the movies or going to a concert or just going out clubbing and having fun.
Oh, I can't wait,
or,
y'all.
Going to the pub. You will love that when you're here.
Yo, I wish I knew about pubs when I went there. Well, no, I did. But I didn't know it was such a thing. Like I said, we stayed in this little town called Egham. So every night we went to this pub called The Eclipse. I've looked it up on another video maybe like a year ago, and I don't think it's there anymore. Well, is it there anymore? I don't remember. I think it's closed down. It was really fun. So there was actually another pub that me and my friends, like I said, I went with a group of friends, all dudes, college age, wearing baseball caps. We probably, we're all pretty nice dudes, friendly people, but we probably looked like a bunch of hoodlums, troublemakers coming in. We went to this one pub. We went in and we got some dirty looks from the locals. Like, they didn't want us there. So then we started going to the Eclipse, and it was a great time. We met some locals. It was really fun. I don't remember going to any pubs in London specifically, though. I think whenever I do go, it would be fun to have like a meet and greet kind of thing with some of my subscribers. I don't know how many people would show up. Let me know in the comments if you would show up, if you're around London and maybe one Friday or Saturday night, if you see JJLA is going to be there, if you would come and maybe buy me a pint and protect me from the inevitable pub brawl that would happen. Be on my side. Protect me. Get in a fist fight for me.
Not so great when you come here, and you knew it was going to come, and you know I was going to talk about the weather. But I'm going to say this. You're going to hate the fact that the weather's unpredictable, because sometimes you can come here for 2 weeks at a time, and it's sunny every day. That actually happened to me before, and I actually got sunburned when I was here in the summer because, well, the sun does come out. But I will tell you, if you're going to come here in the fall, the winter time, the weather isn't something you're really going to enjoy. So you've got to make sure you're bringing not just a jacket, but make sure it's a rain-proof jacket. And if you need to get an umbrella, believe me, when it rains, there'll be umbrellas out at all the shops. Pick one up. But that unpredictable nature of the weather here in London, you got to make sure you check that 10-day forecast. And every day before you go out, look at the hourly forecast. When is it really going to pick up? Because, for example, today I've been walking around and it's fantastic. But I saw about 3 o'clock, it's going to start getting stormy and starting to have a little rain, or at least a 57% chance of rain. So in my bag, I have my umbrella and I have my jacket to keep me out of the rain.
He's a great traveler.
If you've ever been here when it's raining like sideways, or it seems like it's raining upwards sometimes with the wind, you'll understand why the weather might not be something you like when you're here. But hey, in the summertime, usually you're actually pretty okay.
I think if you're just there for a few days, it's like part of it. It's like when you go to New York and you get on the subway and it smells like urine and vomit. It's like, hey, it's New York, it's part of the fun. It's part of the city. The weather, same. I will say, when I went there back in May, this was, May of 1997. The weather was great. I don't think it rained at all. We got lucky.
See? Sunburn. It happens here, the weather. What are you going to do about it here in London? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Another thing I love about coming to London is just the fact that you can have legitimate food from around the world that really tastes like it's from where it is. And that's one thing I love about here. With all the immigration that's come through here, all the tourism that's come through here, how the Brits were all over the world, all that food is here and you get legit stuff. You want great dim sum? You can have great dim sum.
Nice.
You're missing Mexican food from home? You can get it here as well. Maybe you're begging for some Brazilian meat. You can get that here too. I mean, Portuguese food, anything with Afghani food. You have such fantastic food here in London, but what I love about it is that it's legit. It's legitimately legit. So if we lived in Portugal, we miss American food or we miss Mexican food, we come here to have legitimate American food, legitimate, Mexican food. And it's just so awesome. It's so crazy how much great food there is from all over the world, that there's actually good British food here as well. Who knew? And no, I'm not talking about Pizza Express and Spaghetti House for great Italian food. Hey, they've got these places got their place, but I mean like legit Italian food, legit Indian food. Oh my God, it's so good here. You will have the opportunity to have real food from where it's at from people that know what they're doing, which is going to make it even more fantastic. So that's why when you come here and eat here, you get to find cuisines you've never had before, and then it inspires you to want to eat them more and more and more. Because the stuff I had here, and once I had it, I had to have it again and again and again. Lebanese food, fantastic. Honestly, just today I had incredible dim sum, which I just love, 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 love. Just had some incredible Lebanese food, and I even had some good British fare earlier in the day. I mean, you can't go wrong with the food in this city.
Oh, yeah, I love food. It's one of the things I love about Los Angeles. Similar thing. You can get anything from anywhere, pretty much. You can also get, modernized versions of it, I'm surprised that there are Mexican restaurants in London. Show me on a map. Mexican restaurant. Wow. Viva Mexico. 4.8 stars. Yes. Tacos? Burritos? I don't know what that is. Tacos? Burrito? Tacos? Truck? Okay. Tacos and burritos. Tacos? Tacos? Frita? Nachos? Cow? Chilies? That looks like legitimate, real authentic tacos to me.
Now, the fourth thing you're not going to like about when you come to London is the fact that the city is just so big and just unwieldy. Like, look, you're going to have to use the tube. It doesn't matter what the price is, just tap in, tap out, and go. Because you need that. Because even though there's all these sites, you want to go site to site to site, by the end of the day, your feet are going to kill. So you need to use the public transportation. And for some people, that's a little bit daunting. Here, you shouldn't have to worry about it because literally if you have a Google Pay or a tap and go card, you can just tap and go when you come in, tap and go when you go out.
Nice.
Now, you're probably not going to like if you forget to do the tap out part because, oops, you're going to get another little thing to make it even more expensive staying here. But I think the key thing is that with that unwielding size of the city, it becomes very important that you plan your vacation. You plan where you're going to stay. You're going to plan what sites you're going to see and when you're going to see them. Because if you're trying to go from the Tower and then Buckingham Palace and out to Wimbledon or something like that, that's not really your best bet to do it. You want to kind of tie things together so it's a little bit easier. So see Big Ben, Parliament, do the London Eye if you want, go see, Poets' Corner and Westminster Abbey, kind of put those things together. And then another time you kind of put things together in a different route because that'll make life a little bit easier. Because honestly, you'll just walk. And yeah, I mean, it just gets a bit much sometimes. Believe me, you won't even realize how much you're walking. I've been using the tube today. It's 5:30 in the afternoon, and I've already gone 11 miles of walking.
What?
Yeah, and it's like 5:30. Yeah,
wow.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, you don't understand how big the city is, how many things you're going to be seeing and doing and keep going and going and going. So make sure you take a break occasionally. Sit down, have afternoon tea, go hit up the pub, because honestly, you're going to need that because the size of this city is so much that it might be too much for your footsies. You don't want to have foot problems when you're walking around. Ugh.
Yeah, now that I think of it, when I went to London, the Underground was the first subway that I ever took. That was in 97. In 99, I moved to New York. And of course, I took the subway there almost every day. Well, yeah, I was on the London Underground before I was on the New York subway. Now that I think of it, wow. London broke my subterranean train cherry. Can I say that? Pop.
So another thing you're going to love about coming to London is actually the fact that you can leave London so easily because the day trips are amazing. And the day trips can be really anything you want. You want castles and palaces? Oh, head out to Windsor or go to Hampton Court and see where Henry VIII hung out. I mean, that's one of the best ones you can do. Or maybe you want to give the
Cool.
old college try. Yeah, you can go visit Oxford or Cambridge. Or maybe you want to see Old World England. Yes, well, you can go to Canterbury when you're
Yes.
here. Or what you could do, if you don't want to do it on your own, you can actually do tours from here, which actually make it a lot easier to visit certain places around here. For example, you can do a day trip to go to Stratford to learn about Shakespeare and his history. And believe me, taking the tour from here is a lot easier than getting there yourself, okay? Another great tour you could do from here is you get a tour of the Cotswolds. And that is I went back to the Hobbit times and stuff. I mean, just so beautiful when you're there. And you go to multiple places when you're there. Another great day trip you can do, or one you can do on your own, or you can do a tour. You can head out to Stonehenge. You want to see the big rock standing there, or you can get to Bath, or you can actually do both. But if you're going to do that one, I think you need more time between those two. But honestly, it can be a day trip. But honestly, you can have so many things to do here. If you get tired of the hustle,
What's happening here? What's going on here? I guess these are his kids. Are they
or you can get to
wrestling?
Bath, or you can actually do both. But if you're going to do that one, I think you need more time between those two.
Are they playing doctor? Looks like this one just smacked this one in the face, and he's
But honestly,
going in
it
for the
can be
kill.
a day trip. But honestly, you can have so many things to do here. If you get tired of the hustle bus of the city, you can go to the Cotswolds where it's more chilled out, or you can go to, heck, with the trains here, you can get up to York in like an hour and a half, 2 hours to see that. I mean, you have so many options when you're here. I wouldn't really consider York a day trip from here, but you do have a lot of options, whether it's Brighton, Canterbury, the Cotswolds, wherever. But I think my favorite one for nearby is probably going to Hampton Court. Like, that's a really fun one. And then if you want a city, I'd probably do Bath. Oh, and if you want to be really crazy with
Okay.
the day trips from London, you realize it's only a little over 2 hours to take the train from London to Paris. Yeah, go in the morning, have your croissants for breakfast, eat a great lunch, go and see the Eiffel Tower, then come back in the afternoon or evening. It's
Whoa.
doable even on that train.
Whoa! I never even thought of that. It's a 2-hour train ride? That's nothing. Takes me 2 hours to get to San Diego. Wow. Takes me an hour and a half to get to Palm Springs. Wow. I don't know. Maybe I'd do that. I feel like that's opening a can of worms, though. Like going to Paris for just a day, like teasing, you know? I think I would want to. I mean, you gotta fly into London from America, right? But then I want to go to the Cotswolds, and I want to go to Cornwall, and I want to go to Wales, and North Wales, and up to Liverpool, and then over to Manchester, and up to Grimsby. That town keeps popping up. I gotta go to Grimsby, I guess. There's like a synchronicity thing. The town of Grimsby keeps popping up. And then I want to go down on the east side. Oh, I guess I gotta go to Birmingham, Bath, Cambridge, Oxford, then back down to London, and then maybe to Paris. Oh, Dover. Yo, there's too much to see. I don't have enough money for this. I gotta be there for like 2 months or something. Yo, head over to my Patreon and help me get to the UK.
You're not going to like about coming to London. Really, I'm not going to say it's over tourism because, yes, there are tons and tons of tourists that come here. I mean, millions of tourists come to London. But millions of tourists have been coming to London for years. And I'll talk about how good they are at managing that on Love Number 5. But for me, the hate about the tourism kind of stuff here is the inconsiderate tourists. Like, London is probably the city that I see the most inconsiderate tourists in total.
Really?
You know, the ones that are blocking the entrance or the exit to the tube, or maybe they're holding up the line, or maybe they're blocking the street to try to get a picture, But I think my personal favorite inconsiderate tourist is probably the tourists that are dragging their big luggages behind them, the wheeling luggage, and they're just running over people's feet and whacking into them, whether you're, at Paddington, or you're coming in on the train, or you're on the tube, or you're just
French people.
walking around, or you're walking by Buckingham Palace, so you see these things. That's the thing you're really not going to like. It's not the over-tourism, because they do a great job with that, but it's just the inconsiderate tourists, just how many more inconsiderate tourists you have here in London than pretty much any other city I ever go to, okay? And since there are so many tourists here, whether they're inconsiderate or considerate, another thing you might not like are the number of pickpockets you might have to deal with when you're here.
What?
Even when you're walking in front of Buckingham Palace with the change of the guard, you got to keep your eyes open.
Pickpockets. I keep my stuff in my front pockets. I think it's easier to feel if they dip in there.
I alluded to the thing that was good about the way they handle the over-tourism. I think that's the fifth thing you're going to love. It's just the tourism infrastructure and how well it is run here in London.
Okay.
Look, I know I talked about expensive accommodation. I talked about fantastic museums. I talked about all kinds of stuff. But what's amazing about London, even with all these millions of tourists that come here, it runs well. Yes, you do get to go to Westminster Abbey and see it when you're here. Yes, you can do the tourist traps and it's okay and it'll function. Yes, you can see the change in the guard and they'll let you know what days they're on and they're not. And that's just it. It's put together so well that no matter what budget you have, what you're looking to do, there's something that you can do here and it's set up for you to enjoy it. Whether it's coming in from the airports, if you want to do the budget traveler tube version of it, or if you want to do the Heathrow Express version of it, you can do that. They have it all here for a whole gambit of tourists. That's why you'll see young people coming here on their very first vacation abroad, or families coming here for their first family trip abroad. Things are set up for you to enjoy here. From the tours to the people, heck, the policemen, how they'll help you if you ask questions, the locals if you ask questions. They're awesome here. And that's one of the things I really think is really important for people to understand is the infrastructure they have in place here makes this a doable destination for travelers of all backgrounds, all desires, all levels of travel experience. Because even my mother can figure out the tube all by herself. I mean, the tourism infrastructure is so good, they actually help you not get hit by cars when you cross the street.
That's nice.
And with that infrastructure, you also have the black cabs here. And I got to say, the black cabs, they're entertaining to take and they know everything about the city. So if you do take one, they'll take you around and be almost like a tour guide. But also, if you're not sure where something is, they will know. However, as I want to be helpful also on the budget side of it, do know that the black cabs do cost more than the Uber. So if you're looking to save money and you don't want to have an educational tour of the city while you go or have your questions asked, go for the Uber. But that's just it. The infrastructure's here for whatever budget, whatever you're trying to do, you can do it. So what are the things that you love and hate about visiting London? Put it down in the comments below so we can help other travelers know some of the good and maybe not so good parts of coming to London. Bye from London.
Bye, Mark. Y'all be sure to go to Wolters World and like and subscribe. This was great. Y'all, I gotta figure it out. I gotta make it work somehow. Step 1, I need a California driver's license. Step 2, I need a passport. Step 3, I need money. Step 4, I think I gotta find somebody to go with me. Step 5, I gotta plan a meet and greet. Step 6, book my flight. Step 7, do it. 7 steps and I'm there. Easy stuff. Be great if I could go like once a year, right? Maybe I do need to divide it up into a couple different trips or because it's just so much. Yeah, if I set up a meet and greet, I mean, this is a long ways away, so don't this is not about to happen, but curious if people would show up. I don't know. Well, yeah, I'd like to thank my patrons. I'd like to thank my Buy Me a Coffee folks. Be sure to pick up a mug. And if you made it this far in the video, maybe give me a like and subscribe. I'm about to start another channel based on music reactions, like music documentaries. It'll be called JJLA Reacts Music. I'll probably leave a link to it once I start it. Once there's videos on there, I'm planning on doing it Tuesdays and Thursdays. First one would be January 21st. And then the 23rd. So head over there if you're like, I'd appreciate it. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching this with me, and I'll see you next time. Later.